What's up, Asia? How you doing?
Doing well, doing well.
So I heard you yesterday talking about, obviously on paper, everyone thinks you guys will be world beaters, all those different things. So I'm just curious, for what you've seen in camp, I guess, how is this team different than they were last year?
I mean, we got a completely different team. It is different. We have different personalities, of course, and the world is different. We know we went to the bubble with the mindset of just, all right, we're just gonna get through this, play our game, and just see what happens. But this year, the expectations are there, pressure might be there, and you got to start all over again. It's all about the teaching. It's all because I feel like last year we were kind of like go with the flow, see what happens. But this year we're really breaking stuff down. We're really teaching. So I'm pretty sure Bill wished he could speed up training camp a little bit. But I mean, that's kind of what you get when you have to teach a lot of different things in a small amount of time with people that are maybe going in and out of here or not even here yet, like Chelsea. So it's different in that way, but it's still training camp. We're still working hard. We're still keeping the ultimate goal on our minds, which is a championship, which is to do better for me than to do better than I was last year. So it's all a part of it.
Cool. And I'm curious too, throughout training camp so far, we know the big names and everything like that, but is there anybody in particular that's kind of popped to you that's been like, wow, we got to look out for this person?
Um, I would say Shaquilla Thomas. I mean, I feel like she's really, I mean, I played against her in college. And I knew her potential, but to see her play at this level with the strength that she has and the athleticism that she has, it's incredible to watch her just literally raise above some defenders that are right there in her face, but she could just out jump them. And just seeing that in practice, and especially in the scrimmage yesterday, it's definitely an eye grabber. And I mean, I'm going to be biased to say we have the best rookies. You can tell they're just having fun and getting comfortable, and that's always good to see. So Shaquilla Thomas is definitely one that sticks out to me.
I'm curious too. You mentioned the rookies. What have you seen from Slocum thus far?
Oh man, she's a passer. She can pass the ball very well. You can tell she's a perfectionist, probably a bigger one than KP, and I didn't even know that was possible. She really wants to make sure that she's like understanding exactly what's going on. Like yesterday before the scrimmage, she comes in the training room with a dry erase board and her playbook. Like it's incredible. Like as a rookie, my playbook was like perfectly sheets of paper because I didn't even open it because I'm just like, I'm just gonna go with the flow. So to see her do that, I mean, it really cares. It really shows how much she really cares about the game and how much she wants to grow. So for me, that's huge.
And last for me, the hard hitting one. We saw the pictures of the pimp juice. What's in the pimp juice?
The pimp juice cannot be discussed. That is a secret thing. Hopefully, like no one ever catches me making it. I'm always making it in the back. But I do make the label myself. That's as much as I can tell you. It's athletic tape and a Sharpie. That's as much as I can tell you. Changes colors to keep people on their feet. It's the same product, might not be. You never know. So I can't tell you what's in the pimp juice. Just know that it's pretty good.
Kennedy.
All right, Asia. I think I asked you a similar question heading into last year, year 3, you're a vet, but this year, year 4, you're a vet. Like you are a vet. So I know it's mind blowing. I feel like we were just talking as you came into the league. What can we expect out of Asia Wilson this year? Year 4, do you feel like, you're like one of the vets in the league? I feel like you just entered yesterday.
I know, it's really crazy to think about it. I always call myself a vet, and Tanisha's like, you're still in rookie contract. So I am still a rookie in a way. But I'm looking at it, this is a big year for me. I love, our lives are pretty much put in fours. And for me, the 4th year is always a big year that I try to just grow. I'm kind of stamped myself into the league now. So now it's just time to have a lot of fun. Like the pressure is not there for me anymore. I'm just really trying to get my teammates involved with everything and making sure that they're okay. But at the same time, never losing sight of who I am. I'm loving the feeling how I am right now, both mentally, physically, emotionally, everything across the board. I feel really, really good about myself. And and looking back months ago, if you probably would have asked me this, I probably wouldn't even be able to say this. So that's what's key to me. I've been working on a lot of different things on my game, with on-court wise, but off-court, I'm trying to be the best teammate, leader, captain that I can be for my team and have a lot of fun this year. We're out the bubble, so woo-hoo.
And you mentioned the bubble. You guys have always had a super tight relationship with your fans. But did last year you know, kind of give you guys like, oh my gosh, like we really need our fans? Like, just how much did you miss them, and how excited are you to be back playing in front of them this year?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. Like, it's been ways that I'm just like, I probably wouldn't have got my 2 texts if we had some fans to kind of like dilute my voice. But I do miss the fans a lot. I'm super excited just to be back in the house. Like, just when we're in training camp here in Mandalay, you know, it's just a feel of just being back home, a sense of being home, and a little bit of normalcy. And I'm excited just to have however many fans we can have in here to support us, because we've been working so hard to get to this point, through everything, through the pandemic, through everything that's going on within us individually. So I'm just glad to be back here, honestly.
Perfect. Thanks, Asia.
Yeah.
Nick Hamilton.
Hey, Asia, Nick Hamilton, Nightcast Media. Good luck with this season, first and foremost. And wanted to ask you, you know, with you being in the Western Conference and this team has a lot of expectations, a lot of people watching your team, Seattle, obviously. But what do you see, how difficult is this Western Conference going to be, especially when you said earlier about all the moving and shaking of players moving from one team to another?
I can't even pinpoint it on just the West Coast. You know, when you look at our league across the board, it's crazy. Even with the moving pieces that happened in the offseason, I mean, every team looks different. Every team is it's grown, it's just expanded in a way, and it's going to be tough. And especially for us, we are going to have that target on our back, and it's there. It's always been there. And like I said in the locker room yesterday, we're going to get everyone's A game. So why not show up with our A game? You know. And so for us, that's going to be a huge deal. I'm super excited to play against it. Any team in a matter, because I get better every single possession, I feel like, because of just the position that I'm in. I mean, I'm guarding the elite of the elite every single night. So for me, I'm excited to play against everyone, just to get things moving and shaking and just have fun in our dope uniforms in front of our fans. It's going to be huge. So I can't even say it's just a West Coast thing, because the East Coast is popping too. So I'm prepared and ready for pretty much anything.
And specifically to the Aces, I like to call you guys the Showtime Aces because you guys are loaded from top to bottom. You know, you got Chelsea Gray coming in, you got Renika Williams, you know, you have obviously, you know, all the players that you guys had last year, in addition to getting Liz Cambage back. So specifically, how has this team grown? How do you feel like this team has grown from last year coming out of the bubble and then training camp into going into this season?
It feels like we have a completely different team, you know? I think that might be, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We're going to see when the games get going. But I just think we've grown because we were put in a situation that we've never been before, which is in the WNBA finals. And I think there in itself, you grow as a player, as a person. And for me, I think that we have, I know for me, I have a chip on my shoulder. I hope I never get swept again. It's an awful feeling, but you learn, you grow from it. I mean, you see Seattle, they were playing perfect basketball to me. Like, in my eyes, I'm like, that's our measuring stick. We have to get to that point. So for us, we can add many pieces as we want to, but when it comes to being on that court, when it comes to playing, we have to give it our all every possession. I think that's how I've grown. Like I said, we have a different team, so I wish I could say we've grown in this factor as a team, but it is different. So I'm excited to see how we have grown from our first game against Seattle to all the way to the end of the season. So I'm excited to watch the growth within the season, but I definitely feel like I've grown a lot just by getting swept.
And last thing for me, this league, especially you and so many others, have been such a great voice for social justice, bringing awareness to an issue that continues to go on in our communities. Just wanted to, is there any plans, especially with the latest that's going on with Andrew Brown in North Carolina and that shooting? Obviously, we have Ahmaud Arbery's trial coming up, and countless others that have been the victim of police brutality and social injustice. Is there anything that you know you and the Aces are going to be doing to keep the awareness in front of everyone this season?
I mean, as individuals, we're going to continue to use our platform that we have, especially when it comes to playing on those big channels like the ESPNs, the CBS Sports, anywhere, that we're going to continue to push and be that voice for the voiceless. And just within our league, just to as unified as we are, I think it's strength in numbers. And when you see a whole league that's dedicated to the Say Her Name campaign, that's dedicated to Black Lives Matter or anything else, I think that's where we're going to continue to push. You know, I don't know if we're going to have it on our court I wish we could, but I don't know. But it doesn't stop me from using my voice and my platform that I have on my social media or within my community or my circle. So we're going to continue to hopefully pray that these officers get held accountable. I don't even know if I could call them officers, but these men get held accountable for what they've done to our brothers and sisters in the Black community. And we're going to continue to be a voice for the voiceless.
Ari.
Thank you, Jiggy. Asia, I'm gonna keep it quick. Which uniform is the hardest? Which one you like rocking the best?
See, it feels like every time I put one on, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the one. it's like going on your official visit. Like every school is like perfect. Like yesterday, I would have said the white. Today, I'm like, oh, the Black is dope. So I don't know. I'm really feeling the Black right now. Now that I actually have it on, I think the Black is the hardest for me.
And well, okay, that's it. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Sylvia.
Hi, Asia. How are you?
Doing well.
What was your first thought in your head when you hit the 3? Since we know you as the mid-range queen.
My first thought was like, cool. Like, you know, you work on something, and I gotta credit Impact for this. You work on something so much that it's like when you finally see it brought into life and all that work that you put in, finally letting it hit, it's kind of like, all right, it's go time now. Like I got it. I feel good about it. Yeah, it's my first one. Yeah, it was a preseason game, but at the end of the day, like that right there is a confidence booster within itself, within my game. Like that's kind of how I felt. Like it's just like, all right, it's just a matter of time. It's gonna fall. I practiced it. It's there. So for me, I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm shocked. No, not at all. It's just something that I just added to my game, and to see it now implemented into an in-game scenario, I think it's good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we got time for one last question. Let's go with John, the Global Traveler.
Hi, Aisha. Can you talk a little bit about what your statute means to you and to women athletes in general?
Yeah, I mean, the statute means a lot to me. It means the world to me, actually, because it's something that you really don't understand until you're in it. I always say, you know, normally when it comes to the statute, the person's either passed on or they're on their way out. And for me to be so young to now enjoy it and see my parents taking selfies in front of it, or see that young girl that wants to be like Asia take pictures in front of it, and I can see it and get involved in it, I think it's just a huge deal. And it's kind of nice to say, okay, the excuse me, the accomplishments I had in that building was great, but now, you know, you see that, and especially being a Black woman, you don't see that often at all. So for me to just be able to witness it and feel it, it's definitely a big deal. And when it comes to just women in sports or women in general, I feel like it's very powerful. That's not going to be the only statue that you see of a woman. Of course, I'm not the first. So just to have that is definitely key. And I'm glad that I can continue my legacy in a positive light for young women, particularly young Black women.